And welcome to the Invisible Women Podcast.
Today we have with us one of our curl sisters, Valonne Smith,
Woo, woo.
founder and boss babe of the Natural Hair Salon in the Central Valley. Valonne comes to us with about 20 years experience in business and a wealth of experience in the natural hair care game. Valonne has been a guest lecturer on many of the top hair shows here in the U.S. and rated as top 30 hair salon by Essex Magazine. Hello, Miss Valonne. We're glad to have you.
Ladies.
Hey, Valonne, how are you? Looking good.
Thank you.
We are just so excited. We want to just hand it right over. So go right in. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What sparked your interest to start your business? And before that, did you have like an aha moment? Like, damn, I need to get on this or what?
Yeah. Let us know how.
That's like a great question because I feel like there's so many questions leading up to that.
Okay.
Well, I mean, so many
share.
things that has happened that lead up to that. But I'll just try to give you like the very short version of how Natural Do got created. So yes. So when I was in high school, well, going back a little bit further, I got a relaxer at the age of 12.
Okay.
And so pretty much I've been natural my whole life, except between 12 and 17.
Okay. Wow. So, nice.
Yes. And so during when I was 17, I saw, my hair wasn't as healthy and long as I wanted it to be. Yeah. And so I took it upon myself to get some research on how I can get my hair to be, healthy and long. Right. And so back then it was the library. Y'all remember that?
Yeah, of course we do.
I know. So I went to the library and researched all these different books. It didn't matter if it was specifically on Black hair, which at the time there wasn't many. I would say that maybe I found like between 3 to 5 books. And I looked at cosmetology books and just people's experiences. And so what I found that what everyone said across the board was that you had to wear your hair in its natural state in order for it to be healthy, full and long. So I was like, okay. So then I decided, all right, I'm gonna chop it off. But there was no big chop back then, right? I decided I was gonna cut off all the perm. So I remember going to JCPenney, looking at the board, finding the Black hairstylist. I was like, oh, okay, there she go. And
like, there she go is right. Because like, who can do my hair?
Shout out to JCPenney's.
Exactly. And she was like, I sat in the chair and I said, okay, I need you to cut off all the straight hair. And she was like, what? Are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. Cut it off, right? So she cut it off. And it was about maybe an inch or 2 I had on there. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of felt uncomfortable because it was really, really short. Okay. And, but I put my hat back on and I left. But I never have ever wore my hair in a perm ever since then. So, of course, I would still wear weaves or braids or something like that. But I never went back to a relaxer. And during that time, they didn't have many hair care products like they do today. Whoa, that's a lot. So I was pretty much stuck with, hair grease and water.
So, hey, let me get this straight for our listeners. Yeah. Ever since the age of 17, you have not put not one chemical on your head.
No, don't need to.
Amazing.
Those curls look very, very nice.
They are popping.
And it's funny that you say just back in the day, because from some of the listeners, Valonne and I actually went to high school together. So
yes.
And I keep trying to think, I'm wondering, because we all wore our little bun, right? So
right, we did.
Right, I couldn't really tell. Did she have a perm back then? Because I know everybody wanted to have that slick do. So we had chemicals in our hair. What was the gel though? We probably used Pro Style and all that good stuff. So I was trying to have natural hair then, but that it wasn't really embraced in our younger days to wear natural hair. So that's really amazing that you took that opportunity to go and research. We always talk about knowledge is power, right?
Yes,
and so that is really, really key.
Yes, very key, very key.
And it definitely tells me that you've been a boss chick. So carry on, do finish.
So what happened is that so throughout it wasn't until I got married and moved to Seattle. And so if you've ever been to Seattle, you know what the weather is like.
Raining, I've never been.
Okay. Well, it rains all the time.
Okay.
Pretty much until a couple of months out of the summer, you may not get any rain. It's overcasty, but it's not raining. Mm-hmm. But the rain is not like how it is in California. It's not no pouring down rain. They have that, but it's kind of misty. kind of misty light rain.
The little drizzle that make your hair kind of puff up.
Yes. And that's why I said I had to learn.
Oh, wow.
My natural hair. So, and that was really the 2-strand twist that I did a lot of. And so my hair really, really grew from that style. It really, really flourished. People were like, how did you get your hair like that? Your hair is really healthy and long. And so I got so many talks about that. That's when I decided to start a book called Girl, Get Your Hair Back, out of those questions. And then out of those questions too, I did like little natural hair Mary Kay parties, I guess you can say. I would go to people's houses and we would talk about natural hair. So
amazing.
That's how like it got started. And then fast forward some more years. And I noticed that there was no place where I can, at least, or any other natural girl can go get their hair done. And so instead of, complaining about it, I just decided to create one. And then that's when Natural Do Hair Salon happened.
And they say make opportunity of everyone giving to you. So I really, really love that.
Yes.
And,
I admire that for sure.
One of the things, Nielsen Ratings has said the natural hair care industry is actually almost like 9 billion, I think, last I checked, in 2020. And gonna continue growing because over COVID, the quarantine, many of us sisters have embraced natural hair care, but like I said, we don't really know where to start. So you're a good place to start. That's what we're like, we got to have her on here to really share with us. And even just from my own story, I adapted a natural hair look back in 2007. So I definitely used to have my, chemical, put my perm in, and I went to natural hair because at the time I was kind of doing detox, and I'm like, if I'm going to do internal, I want my hair to also be healthy, like you said, because edges was a little thin, and I'm like, how do I get this back? But I didn't go as far as you was doing the research, but I just cut the chemicals out. I did not do the big chop, but over time, I did continue to grow as I just kept going and get like my natural, follow-ups and getting my ends clipped, and it just naturally came off. So you just got to kind of jump in there.
I know, I jumped in.
This is it.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you did that.
Miss Valonne, I heard 2 key things. I heard a book. Where can our listeners find your book and purchase it?
Yes, they can go online to natural-do.com. And our merchandise is all on there, and they can get the book as well. It's an ebook, so you can just download it right away.
Amazing. Now, Valonne, before we get into the other stories of your life, do you also provide products?
Absolutely.
Okay. How did that all happen?
It was a long time coming. And the thing is that we were getting ready to launch before the shutdown. And then that shut down, and it took a very, very long time to get them, but they're finally here.
Hey. Okay. And what type of products are they? Like creams, curls, gels?
Yeah. Well, we have one of our main bestsellers is our hair and body butter. And so it's not only great for your hair, it's a hair, but it's also for your body, and it smells really, really good.
I love that.
Yes. A one-stop shop. We like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. Blue, 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 blue.
I love to oil up. My mom used to tell me, you love to be greasy. I'm like, yes, I love my skin shining. But I think that's really good because now one thing that I personally like to ask, for me, I have curls, but my curls are very fine. So some of the hair care products that I know I've tried in the past are either too heavy for my hair. And so I don't like it being too crispy, hard, and like frumpy. I like a big kind of soft do. So like, how do we know? Because what's the curl pattern from 1A to 4C, right? I think I did a little bit of that. How do you know when you come to your products, what is going to be the best product for your curl type?
Okay, well, we offer we offer free hair consultations at our salon. And at our consultation, we wash your hair because there we determine what your curl pattern is, right? And you don't really know what that is until it's underwater. And so everybody is so different. And I could tell you a little bit just by looking at you, but I really can't know.
My hair,
I know. They see it. I really don't know until I look at it. But I can tell you, if you say that you have fine hair, then yes, I can tell you that you're right. You don't want to put very heavy products in your hair, especially the kind of look that you want. And when you're also determining products, another key is by the hairstyle that you wear. So the products that you use, for instance, for a wash and go, may not be the same for someone who's getting 2-strand twists.
Okay.
And it also depends on your hair type. So it's different things. We are trying to find a better way to try to explain that to people.
Yeah.
We know it, but I'm trying to find a better
hand, right? Not just one. You're gonna need a couple.
Yes. The other issue is that people assume that their hair is kinky. Like, for instance, we get people in the chair and they tell us all the time, "Oh, I got that Kuta Kinte hair. It's nasty," and all this stuff. And then they find out, "Oh, you have curly hair. It's really curly." You're like, "What?" Very small percentage of people that come into our salon, and I think as far as in the U.S., really have kinky hair.
Okay.
Most people fall into the range of curly, from big to loose.
That's
So,
true.
Wow. See, that's why I love it. You are educating us already. What, 5-10 minutes in?
Yes.
And see, I'm a lot different. So for number one, I'm sure you've heard this before. I am a tender-headed person. I'm sure you get that comment.
We got some stories.
Ever since I was younger, like the moment you start pulling too hard, I'm like, it's all good. Don't worry about it. I wear my hair crazy looking. Like
well, my mom used to assign me to do her hair, so she has beautiful hair, much longer and fuller hair than me. But I'm like, it would kink up, and I'm like, we used to do water and grease too, and
dip it in the water and brush. Real quick.
Well, one of the things I always tell when I'm at my seminars, I said, okay, so one of my questions I'm gonna ask the Lord when I die is, did you give people with kinky hair or curly hair tender heads? We gotta go through this.
Right.
I just don't know. That's what I want to know.
It's like every little thing. Like even when I wear like sew-ins, when my stylist takes out the sew-ins, my scalp, I'm like, don't do nothing else. Let's just wash it for now. Like I don't want you to put it back in. I don't want you to do none of that. So for me, wearing my natural hair has always been a struggle. Because of all the hair, I have tight curls, and I'm just a very tender-headed person. So what would be your advice to a person like myself that's just like, don't do it to my scalp?
Yeah, don't do it to my scalp. I know. We do try to be very gentle as possible. Okay. My daughter is tender-headed as well. And she has sister locks. So I know that people might think that, yes, it is. It's so long. I'm so jealous. And so I know people may think, oh, it's sister locks, you shouldn't be tender-headed, but actually because you're not combing your hair often, and when she gets retightened, it does hurt. So I typically, give her like a Motrin before her session, and she's fine. So that's one tip there.
Thank you. I never knew that. That makes so much sense.
Yeah, she feels better. But if I didn't give her the Motrin, she'd be like, and after it's done, it's so pretty. I want to touch it. She's like, don't touch me. Like for real. Like she don't want the wind blowing on it.
It is serious. Like it is a real thing. Like people think, oh, you just crying. It's like, no. It's a real thing.
No, we have clients that are very tender-headed that are crying in the chair. Especially the younger ones, the adults, they can hold it a little bit better, of course, but the young ones, no. And also it's because sometimes the kids are not used to getting their hair combed. So when you don't get it combed often, especially when you're tender-headed, that really, really hurts. So one of the things that we try to encourage the parents is like, try to get them to come in, at least once every 2 weeks, because I think that every week is too much for them, but maybe 10 to 14 days so they could get used to it. We had a young girl that was super, I'm telling you, she was crying, tears. And then she would, then she got a little older, so she would still cry, but she'd have her towel, just pat her tears. And now she doesn't cry at all. So I know your pain.
I know. I feel her pain all the way.
That's amazing that you take the young ones, because I've known a lot of salons that we don't take young kids for that reason, because we don't want to have to deal with it. So that's really, really great, because unfortunately my daughter kind of adapted her auntie's tender-headedness. And the older she has beautiful curls, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with this mess. It's like all over. So we try, but moisturizer. I mean, would you say that that's one of the key too? Is you have to stay
You have to put a lot of you got to put a lot of
that's what I tell them.
A lot. Like I used to wash my daughter's hair, and I used to detangle in the shower. That's how bad.
We use tons of conditioner, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. It has to stay moisture. So
yes, it does.
On the conditioner.
But I even ask her, like, if I'm in her house or at her house while she's combing her daughter's hair, I'm like, Chloe, blink twice. It hurts because you can say it hurts, and I'm like, go ahead, blink twice.
I'm trying now. You should have a little finer hair like me. Would be good because it don't take me much.
But before this, I just wanted to jump on the topic of the sister locks. Like I've been thinking about it for a couple of years. I have a really good best friend that grew her sister locks, and they are like down to her waist.
They are absolutely beautiful.
They are beautiful. So what would you recommend for a person like me? I don't necessarily have a perm, but I do my weaves, I do my press, I do all that stuff. Yeah. I do color. So how would you prep me into walking into sister locks?
Well, definitely. So it starts off with braiding, because they gotta work on the grid, and there is you'll probably experience a little pain when she gets to the root of your hair, but going forward, when you depending on how often your hair grows, and she'll let you know. Like my daughter, she goes once every 2 months, so she doesn't have to get her hair combed at all. Once every 2 months, she just goes through it. Okay. So I think if you're tender-headed, you're going to like that, because you're not going to be in your hair every day. And sister locks is lighter, much lighter than traditional locks, because it's not gathered hair over time. So it's very light. You can still wear. I know people that still put wigs and weaves and braids with sister locks. Yes, you can, because they're so tiny.
Amazing.
So it's very versatile. It's very light, and I think that if you're tender-headed, I think you would like it. Only time you wouldn't like it is the retightening session. But take a Motrin and you're good. So I would recommend it. I would.
Very good. Now, do you guys do sister locks at Natural Do?
No, we don't do them, because you have to be a certified loctician with sister locks, and you have to go through their class and training. But we do cut them, and we do style and dye them.
Amazing. And then also too, I don't think we touched on, where are these salons located for our listeners that want to come and get their hair done?
For sister locks, or
no, for just Natural Do, your salons that you own.
Natural Do. Okay, so we're located in downtown Stockton. We're also so happy to announce that we're going to be opening up in downtown San Jose. So we're excited to be coming there too.
Congratulations.
Yes,
getting higher.
Yes,
that's amazing.
We're really excited about that, and then hopefully we'll continue to keep growing and open up in other locations.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about franchising? Something to think about.
Well, not at this time. We'll keep it private for now.
I understand. Totally. Yeah. I get it.
And you know what? As you said, keep it private. I think that's great, because you're still owning and running your business, because a lot of there's controversy sometimes with Black-owned natural hair care products that eventually either are sold off to companies, or they are originally owned by one white company. So it's,
and I'm not opposed to that.
You're running, right? I mean, because whatever you need to do to innovate, me neither. So what's best for your business, or when you get to that stage, it's like, hey, we need to do merger, acquisition, whatever. It's all about elevating to the next level. But great that you're still doing what you do, and we love it, and we're here to support for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so glad you understand that, because essentially when you're in business, for a lot of businesses, the goal is to sell. For a lot of businesses, I know some people go in there probably wanting to stay in and keep it, within the family and things like that. But that is sometimes business's goal. And so I'm not opposed to that at all. I'm just saying at this time, we're still growing and learning, because I have one location. So now I have two. And so two location or multiple locations is going to be a different when it comes to business and running it. So I know that I'm going to be learning and experiencing different things, especially when it comes to vending management, hiring, training. It's just going to be different when you have multiple locations versus one. So right now that's just my focus.
Yeah, you know what? That's important that you say that, because I know that Black women, we are continuing to grow into entrepreneurship, and like you said, to me, I think in business you always got to have an end game as well. We definitely always want to keep it, like you said, in the family, hold on to it. But as you innovate and as you grow, there may come a time when it's like, hey, we need to move on to the next level so we can continue with other projects, other business opportunities. So that doesn't mean that you're like not doing it for the culture anymore. It just means that you're continuing to level up. And so I love that you understand that as a Black businesswoman, because that's important.
I'm glad you understand that too.
And that kind of leads us into our next question for you, Miss Valonne. is what are some of the roadblocks that you faced as being a Black woman, an entrepreneur in business? Has it been issues obtaining bank loans or finding places to lease to where you can have your shop set up? Because that's what we do here at the Invisible Women Podcast. It's for us, it's by us. We reclaim our time here, we reclaim our power here, and we reclaim our confidence. So we want our listeners to learn from you and grow from you, and for you to drop those gems. So what are some of the roadblocks that you faced?
Well, I would say the main roadblock, whether it's in leasing or like you said, obtaining products, working with banks, is that they do not understand what we do. All they hear is you're a hair salon. And I am a hair salon, but we're very, very niche. And so I remember one time when I was went to a they weren't a bank, but they were like a CDFI. They help for smaller loans with the city. And the guy was like, okay, I mean, I looked and I Googled and there's like 20 African-American salons. So I'm not understanding like what makes you different. Right. And I'm like, well, we do natural hair. They have no idea what that is. So, so then I got to go into like, curly hair, but even if then they don't have curly hair, so they're not understanding like how are you making money? Well, what's the big deal about this? When we go to lease, there's other salons maybe around the area and other landlords don't want to deal with that. And I'm telling you, I'm like, we don't do what they do. Trust me.
I know that's right. I'm different.
Yeah, very different. We bring a whole different kind of clientele and vibe to your place. We don't do that. So that is, to me, that has been like the biggest one, the biggest understanding that they just don't understand what is natural hair and what that means. 60% of the population have some form of kinky, curly, wavy hair. You don't have to be Black. That's true. So many people are now starting to embrace their naturals because there are other races that want to straighten their hair. They want to get the blowouts and stuff. They don't want to do the curls, but now they're also starting to embrace that. They have people are getting married. There's interracial relationships, and so now they have this new head of hair they ain't never experienced before.
Now who knew had a hair?
Yes, they're like, what? So so it's growing. So and as that is growing, then people are starting to understand more. So it's just really they didn't know who we are. What is it that we really do?
Right. So you find yourself pretty much educating people when you're out here on your business grind, because people that don't look like us, they don't get it. They don't understand that, if I'm correct, that your service is a subscription-based service, right?
Yes, we offer subscription. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. You're busy.
Yes, we are. Girl. I thought I put that on vibrate. Rude. Yes, we offer a la carte, which means you can come in and pay for this one-time service, or we offer memberships. And so our memberships is either you pay monthly or annually, and you receive unlimited salon services for your natural hair. And we do that because natural hair really has to be taken care of. And we find that when you really stick to it, you'll get the results that you need.
That's amazing. That almost brings me to like, you are like innovative to me, because that makes me think about supercuts. And supercuts is not for us.
No, it's not.
I've been there before.
Yeah, I have too, to have him cut a bob or something like that. But still, they like, what should I do?
Right.
But what you're doing it's revolutionary to me. I mean, it's big. It's a really big thing, and I can see you going like far and wide with what you're doing. That's why I was asking about franchising.
Yeah.
You're not doing that now, but I think in the next 10 years, I can see you having definitely at least a good handful of salons, at least in Northern California.
Oh yeah, that is the goal. That's the goal.
That's the end. And then even bring it to Seattle. You said that's where you found out how to really care for your stuff was in Seattle.
Yes. Right. Yes. Everybody like, when you coming to Virginia? When you coming to Washington? Hey, I'm coming. It takes some time.
It takes some time. I love it. And so, and then so for you, when you started your business, did you continue to work a full-time job partially, or how did that go?
I think that's always the question when you think of entrepreneurship. People like, I need to quit my day, and sometimes it takes a little while. You got to keep pouring into your business. So it's like, hold on, my sisters, don't quit quite yet. Keep working. But it's a lot of balance.
It is. It sure is a lot of balance. I would have to say, well, I did it. I was quick. So I quit within 6 months because we grew rather quickly.
Nice.
But I'm not saying, but looking back, I probably either would have waited or got more funding, because I didn't understand necessarily all of the financial pieces to it. And so I would encourage that for people to do. I mean, it's okay to still work your job, and still grow the other business. And so how can I say? Well, I would just say you just really have to watch your numbers. You have to really look at your numbers and see if it's viable for you to do. I know you probably want to rush to do it. And don't get me wrong, it is a lot at first, but you just got to look at your numbers and look to see what you can really afford to do. I was married, so I have a very supportive husband, and I know some people start businesses and they don't have nobody else. It's just them. Right. But I will tell you that as long as you keep at it, and I promise you, if you keep at it, it will happen. Don't give up. Take all the resources that are available to you. There are always small business centers located in your city. Those are free. You get free business consultants, or you got SCORE, or you got now, because they're trying to help colored people get into business. There's other organizations out there. I am a, what do you call that? A business networking person. Like, I love it.
That's amazing.
I don't care how small it is or how big it is, or you think you know everything. I promise you, you do not. And you go to these places, you will find people that will help you, or find some kind of information. Even this one little thing of something that you should not do, you'll find something. So I would say use the resources that are available to you as well as you're trying to grow your business, because there are plenty out there.
Yes. I think that's really, really key. And I appreciate you saying that, because we love to always talk about that your net worth is your net worth. Yes. And like you said, no opportunity is too small sometimes. And, we've learned that even sometimes we're tired and just like, there's something going on. It's like, but you never know the opportunity network. And we've come across some great opportunities sometimes going to events and just
attending a meet and agree. You can hit it off with somebody. Like, cool. Let's make it work. Right. So you never know who's going to be in the room, right?
That is so true.
Power of networking. Yeah. And, I think you've definitely learned some keys to success in being an entrepreneur. Because, like you said, there's always an opportunity to learn. We don't know everything, even for myself, I'm always learning different things. And what I'm like, wow, you don't know it all. And so you just always have to remain open. And I think that's very good. You've learned to another key is find the problem and solve it. And you've done it, because, trying to manage natural hair has definitely been a problem for me and many people like us. And even when you said like one of your clients just having interracial children, I just remember being younger and seeing a lady just back in the day when I used to braid hair and seeing a lady in Sally's. I think I was working part-time at Sally Beauty Supply in San Jose. And a lady came in with her daughter. She was biracial. And she was like, I don't know. She had chopped the girl's hair off and it was really, short and curl, but she didn't know what product to do. And so all I could do was braid it. But even when I was braiding it, I was like, I don't even know what to do with it. And so, having these services and what you're doing, I think you have a very wide clientele, and you're going to continue to excel. And we're happy for you, Valonne.
Yes, we are so excited.
And this is the Visible podcast. So there's women of color that's listening to this, right?
Absolutely.
So I just also want to be clear about the networking. It's not just about networking in Black groups.
Right.
Yes.
That you have to network with everybody.
Absolutely. That's right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say one little piece right there.
Thank you for dropping that. Just say it again for the people in the back. and so the people in the back need to know that money don't discriminate.
Yeah, right.
Don't discriminate. Right. So you just got to know that. And that's also too coming with a business mentality, right? Because yes, we are about acknowledging and we're here for Black women, but let's be real, we all live in the same world together. So we do end up intertwining and working together. You just have to find what works.
One of the keys in what you said is you're going to have to teach people so they can understand, because a lot of times when we don't understand, there's fear and like, well, why would we support that? Why would we invest in that? And there definitely is a barrier for Black women trying to get, venture capitalists. But when we know our business and we can really tell the story and show the numbers that it creates, people want to make money. They want to invest in something that's definitely going to be lucrative, right? And so, having all that laid out, like you said, when you rush into it, but I think the more you learn that there is always that business aspect and whatever passion that you have, you will exceed.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, you guys, I love it.
No, I love it. I thought that was important that you said that. Yeah. So like you said, no opportunity too small. We want to create allies, and you got to continue. Just, hey, tell your story.
Yes. And Ms. Valonne, we know you're busy. We just have a couple more questions. So I want to know, what would you tell your 8-year-old self? Because I heard you say that you went natural as of 12, but what would you tell yourself at 8?
To not listen to nobody and do what I want to do.
Okay. I hear some fearlessness in that. Okay.
Power, speak
yes.
Okay, I love it.
And that's just more of listening within and really trusting yourself. Right. That's what I would say. And really, go for that, because we have outside people or forces or whatever telling us how we should be, do, act, think. And so, I think that, we're all different. We're all, God made us all different, and, God talks to all of us, and we all have different passions and gifts and talents. And we should really focus on that and not try to, compare ourselves to other people.
That's right.
That's so key. And like I like to tell people, you got to go deep with it. You got to know the difference between principles and principalities.
All right, now.
I don't want to go biblical on you, but I know it. That's a God up here now. And so that's awesome. I love it. So you sound like you have a strong faith and a strong spiritual guider that leads you. And I just love it. I love it. And so the last question that I have is, what is the most effective habit that you've adopted and it's helped you flourish in your personal life as well as your professional life?
Oh, you said personal too, but I think it goes back to the whole the business. What do they call those? They call them like cohort groups.
Business cohort. Okay, sure.
So every few years, I get involved in a group where there's a business that helps you comb through your business. And so it's kind of like you're redoing it all over again. You're redoing your vision, your mission,
where you're at.
Yes, exactly. You're redoing, you're combing through your finances and all of that. That I feel has been so helpful for me, not just for the networking piece, of course, because that's great. I met some great people, but also just combing through your business. I know you can't feel like that you just got it, because things change all the time. So, like for instance, during COVID, oh my gosh, I combed through like no comb through before. I was a part of a cohort called Main Street Launch out of Oakland. Okay. And what they do is they help entrepreneurs with their business. And when we started in January. Okay. The shutdown happened in March. And I'm so grateful that I was a part of the cohort then, because if we had combed through my business while things were great, I think it would probably be a little bit different. And so now we were able to comb through during the worst of times, right? Yes. And so I was able to make more money after the shutdown than I had done before in the past.
Amazing.
So you want to just comb that. That's what I feel like has helped me a lot. And I've been through other groups like that too. They have those all over the place. You could go to your small business center or the community colleges. The colleges, they have things like that for businesses, and that I feel like will really help your business grow for sure.
And that's interesting that you say that, because I've heard a lot of business owners say that COVID has either been a blessing or a curse to many businesses, and you have to learn, like you said, to continue to be innovative and just change the game of what you were doing before and being able to adapt to where we are today. And so when you're able to kind of flip, to what do that. That's what we talk about. Then hey, you turn your pain to purpose, right? I'm not right. And I think that is really, really great. Well, we definitely continue to more success for you and your business. And one thing that I just want to leave with, because it just reminds me of India.Arie's famous quote, is, "I am not my hair, I am not my skin, I am a soul that lives within." Thank you so much, Ms. Valonne.
Thank you, Valonne.
Thank you so much, ladies, for having me.
Of course, we appreciate you.
We're looking
so Natural Dew Salon in Stockton, California.
Yes. Opening soon in San Jose. You guys have to come. You guys have to do a podcast there or something. You guys have to come.
We will do more. We got some more things cooking up too that I'll definitely be in touch with you offline about. But we wanted to just get you on this podcast to share with us. And so, yeah, I'm gonna get the moisturizer once I take these braids out. Maybe I have to stop in and bring my daughter. So I might have to schedule a salon and let y'all manage those curls of her.
Okay. Yes,
I
keep being amazing.
Yes.
You are beautiful. We love what you are doing, and just keep breaking down those barriers and keep on with your natural hairdo salons.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
You too.
Bye, Valonne.
Bye.